Reflections in the Rain. Arav, a successful corporate professional in Mumbai, lived life in the fast lane. His days were a blur of meetings and deadlines, and his smartphone was his constant companion. Yet, in the silence of the night, a sense of emptiness crept in. One rainy evening, Arav's car broke down. He found refuge under the canopy of Miss Iyer's rooftop garden. Over a cup of steaming chai, Miss Iyer shared stories of her youth, emphasizing the importance of pausing and reflecting. Inspired by her words, Arav began to visit the rooftop garden regularly. Amidst the pitter patter of rain and the lush greenery, he started journaling, a practice he had long forgotten. Each written word was a step towards reconnecting with his passions and aspirations, long buried under corporate ambitions. The turning point came when Arav decided to volunteer at a local NGO, reigniting a forgotten dream of making a difference. His conversations with Miss Iyer, filled with humor and wisdom, became a cherished part of his journey. What's the moral of this story? In the relentless pursuit of success, we often lose touch with ourselves. It's crucial to pause, reflect, and nurture our inner world, for it's the core of our being and happiness. Wasn't that fun? Now, let us dive in the relationship that is actually the core foundational relationship. Without this relationship, you cannot have any other relationship. Not in this world, not in any other world. It's the relationship with yourself. Let's try to understand what are the chakras that correlate with this relationship. What are the emotions in these chakras, the positive and the negative? And how do we transform the negative emotion into the positive one? What actions do we take? What role does this relationship play in our life? What's the nature of this relationship in our life? Let's begin. First, the chakra that's correlating to this relationship. By now, I think you know what we are talking about, right? It's called the Vishuddha or the throat chakra. Okay? This chakra, the fifth chakra. So, in this chakra, there are two emotions, two types of emotions. The first one is the negative, the second is the positive. In the negative, we have the emotion of grief or guilt, which is also a deep sorrow and a feeling of responsibility towards a perceived wrong. Okay? It's basically you feeling that you were responsible for something that was not right. If you can manage these emotions, it can improve your mental health very significantly. And it will help you to foster resilience in your mind and in your heart. The positive emotion in this particular relationship is the emotion of self-expression or gratitude, which involves sharing thoughts or feelings and being thankful. This self-awareness and appreciation can lead to better mental health and overall wellness. Okay, super duper important for you to understand that this chakra gets blocked if you have any kind of grief or guilt. If you would have experienced, whenever you feel guilty, you feel some kind of thing getting stuck in your throat, right? Whenever you are also grateful for someone and their actions, you again feel it over here. These are the primary emotions of this chakra. Okay, now let's understand the nature of this relationship. Within this relationship, we have authenticity. What is authenticity? It comes from the word authentic. What is authentic? Authentic means who you are from within. You know, you accept, and you understand, and you bring that to the world. you're true to yourself, you love yourself, you accept yourself, you understand yourself, that version when you bring to the world, it is an authentic version of yourself that you're sharing with the world. Okay, authenticity. Next is self-respect. Knowing your boundaries, respecting your boundaries, staying true to yourself, knowing that you're not abusing yourself in any way, emotionally, physically, mentally. That is self-respect. You hold yourself to a certain degree and you maintain that. That is self-respect. If you respect yourself, there is no way that anyone else can disrespect you. Because people only disrespect you if you yourself do not respect who you are. Okay? The next one is individuality. Knowing that no matter whatever relationship you have with others, your relationship with yourself is the basis and the foundation and the core of all other relationships. Knowing that you are currently limited by your experiences and your body. Respecting that individuality. That makes up the nature of this relationship. Okay, now let's look at the role that this relationship plays in our life. First and foremost, it plays the role of self-expression. Now, when I say self-expression, it does not necessarily mean just speaking. It also means arts. Let's say you have some thoughts within you that you want to express by the medium of paintings, by the medium of sculpting, by the medium of dancing, any kind of art form. You're expressing yourself, you're getting to know who you are. So enroll in some kind of a hobby or a passion that you have and express yourself so that you can learn more about who you are. You can become more aware about your own self. Next, communication. The role that this relationship plays, it helps you to communicate with everyone and everything around you. Let's say you're thirsty. If you can't communicate, how will you quench your thirst? You will die if you can't drink water, if you don't find water. All relationships require communication. If you don't have good communication, how are you going to be able to fulfill all your needs and wants and desires? How will you walk your purpose? How will you fulfill your purpose? How will you find meaning in life? And it does not necessarily mean by speaking. Some people might not be able to speak because they're mum. But it's fine. You need to communicate by whatever means is possible. There are so many people who fight on the basis of languages. You need to understand that language is nothing but just a means of communicating. And almost in all cases, these people who are fighting for these languages, they don't understand the importance of life itself. They're stuck in petty issues. But it's okay. We accept them as the community that we are. We still accept them and respect them. So, moving on. The next one is confidence. If you don't know yourself, your capabilities, your abilities, your boundaries, if you don't respect yourself, how will you be confident in anything and everything that you do? It's very difficult, right? You won't be able to be confident. So confidence comes from knowing oneself, expressing oneself, loving oneself, relating with oneself, being aware of oneself. Okay? The last one is health. And by now, I'm pretty sure you know, whenever I speak about health, I'm talking about mental and physical health. Within mental, I mean emotional, energetical, all kinds of spiritual health, all kinds of health. And physical means the material health, the physical body, financial health. Okay? All of these health is your own responsibility. First and foremost, it's your responsibility to love yourself and then develop a healthy and happy life through that love. Okay. Let's look at the growth actions we need to take in order to improve in this relationship. The first one is the secret growth formula I'm going to share with you. Time, place, and circumstance. If you know whatever you want to communicate or convey to the world, to anyone in any relationship that you have, you need to understand the right time for that, the right place for that, and the right circumstance for that. If you can apply this simple formula, you can see the most significant growth in your life. You will be far ahead from people who don't know this and don't understand this and don't implement this. Because see, there is a time, place, and circumstance for everything and anything. You know by yourself what kind of attire or clothes to wear at a funeral, right? You know what kind of clothes to wear in a wedding. You know what kind of clothes to wear when you go to a trekking. Similarly, knowing is not enough. Implementing the secret of time, place, and circumstance. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is self-discovery. Now, how do we discover ourselves? Simple ways, 4 actions. First, we need to date ourselves once a month. You see, your relationship with yourself is superior than the relationship with your lover or partner. There are certain things that you can't express to your lover or partner, but there is almost nothing in this world that you don't know about yourself. You might have ignored it, you might not be aware of it, but you know it. So, set aside at least one date for your own self every month. Minimum, most bare minimum you can do for yourself. Sit with yourself the entire day. Go out somewhere, away from gadgets, away from people, away from everyone. Try to contemplate and understand who you are. Why are you here? Try to see if all the things that you had set out to do for yourself, are you doing that? Are you meeting your own self? Try to see what challenges you're having in your life. What actions are you taking to overcome those challenges? Okay? Self-date, very important. Not self-loathing. Talking about self-date. Positive, happy. It should elevate your state of being, not degrade it further. Okay? Next one is weekly or daily mirror talk. Stand in front of the mirror when you're brushing your teeth, very important. Just look into your own eyes and talk to yourself. Try and understand who you are, present as a person, present in the moment. Okay? If you would like, I can share a template again. When I say template, I mean Notion templates. So I'll share a template. Within this template, you can understand what kind of questions to ask yourself in the date, in front of the mirror. Okay, we'll share this in the link in the description. The next one is self-acceptance. You might have had some incident in your life where certain action of your life you don't accept till today. I give you the permission. As a friend, as a servant of yours, I give you the permission that you are fine, you're good, you accept, even if it was a bad action, it's fine. You accept yourself and that action. And not just accept, but also forgive yourself if you did something wrong. It's completely fine. We are all human, and if we were perfect, then we wouldn't be human beings, right? We would be AI. We would be God. So we are human beings and it's okay. Everyone makes mistake. Accept it, understand it, and forgive yourself. The fourth one in self-discovery is a shadow journal template. I will add one more template in which you can recognize and understand your shadow self, the side of you that you ignore. Maybe you call it the bad side, but that is there for a reason, to bring balance in your life, to bring harmony in your life. I'm not saying feed that side more than you feed the positive side, but I'm saying accept it for its existence. Otherwise, through some gaps and leakages, it will pop up and it will destroy your happy, healthy life. So a shadow journal template I will share with you. You can start writing answers to the questions that are mentioned in the template, and as a result, you can grow in your life. And don't worry, if I've shared a lot of templates, what I'm going to do is I will bring a single template in which all the templates are shared, and I will also give you a brief idea on what actions you need to take on which days, so that you can actually implement these templates in your life. And then slowly over a period of time, after you begin through the templates, you can develop your own set of templates. You don't have to be dependent and reliant on my templates. These are just a starting point. Okay. For those people who don't understand like what these are, that is why I've just created it, so that you can start, and then slowly over a period of time, you can transition and develop your own templates. See, why I'm sharing templates is because it's easy. You have some definition. You don't have to go doing research, because I've done research on more than 7,500 books so far in this space. I have more than 5 terabytes of data that I have consumed, courses and resources and all kinds of books and everything. And in the last 10 years, that was my only job. I was surviving obviously by providing design, branding services and all that. But this was the main focus of my life for the last decade. From the age of 20 to 30, I've only focused on developing all of these resources for you. If you would like, you can also invest all of your life. It's fine, no problem. But if you want to save time, go download these templates, make a copy of it on Notion or Excel or wherever. Start implementing them in your life. Okay, next one, creativity. One of the growth actions that you can take in your life is to have some activities in your life which help you develop creativity. First, explore your hobbies. Because of the race that you're running, you might have forgotten your hobbies. As a child, you like painting. Okay, enroll in some painting class. Okay, you don't have the money to enroll in painting class. Buy a drawing book and start painting. Start drawing. Start dancing. Start singing. You don't need money to sing and dance. Anyone can do it. Okay. Next, enroll in classes if you would like. If you think it's difficult for you to do it by yourself, find other people who are also interested in the same, join with them and do it, explore it together. You might also make friends on the way. Okay. Third one, mirror talks. As we previously mentioned, talk to the mirror so that you can understand what are those areas of your life that you have suppressed. It will help you to develop creativity. Have creative conversations if you'd like with yourself. Ask yourself, if this is the problem that I'm having in life, how do I solve it in a creative manner? And last but not the least, be honest with yourself. Some people, they lie to themselves, forget others. They try to ignore the reality for what it is. What's the use? What are you going to gain if you lie to yourself? Nothing. You'll just lose time. If that is what you want, then please. If you just want to kill time, waste time, it's fine. But if you want to experience life and its depth, then be honest with yourself in all of your conversations with yourself. Next, health. Now we'll look at how to improve all the different aspects of our health. First, we have physical health. Within the physical health, we have 4 areas. The first one is have sufficient amount of rest in your schedules. Very important. Let me share this example with you, okay? This will really help you to understand. So there are three parts within your self. Okay, one is the conscious self, one is the subconscious self, and the third one is the unconscious self. The subconscious self is the C drive of your computer. Let's assume that you're a computer. The conscious self is the D drive of the computer, where you keep all the files of like entertainment and processing, general, not so important files. Okay. And the RAM of the computer, the random access memory, is the unconscious self. Or it's even better, it's the internet and the RAM together. Okay. Now, why am I giving this example? So what happens is, based on your actions in your early childhood, there is some conditioning happening, some programming happening. Your parents, your environment, everyone programs in you in a certain way. So your C drive is the operating system. Okay. Every action that you're taking is driven by the C drive. The conscious self is where you're processing certain information day to day and you're storing it back wherever you would like. Sometimes you don't need it, you delete it, you want it, you keep it, etc. The unconscious is your true self, the biggest self, the spiritual self, which knows everything. It is Sat Chit Ananda, which means it is eternal in nature. It is all knowing, it is all present. Just like the unconscious, which is so massive and huge that it knows everything. In your DNA, everything is already embedded. Millions and millions of years of experience and knowledge is already with you, but you might not necessarily want to process it. Now, what happens at the time of rest is basically you're allowing your subconscious and the conscious and the unconscious to work on themselves and sort and segregate all the information, data that you have been processing throughout the day. And this happens best from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. This is the time when the body is processing all of this junk and segregating, putting it in the recycle and removing it, and it's resetting itself. Just like a system might get overheated if we keep using it all the time, so even the self might get burnt out if we keep using it all the time. We need to have rest and importance for rest. Okay. The next one is nutrition. The quality of input is going to be directly proportional to the quality of output. Garbage in, garbage out. You know this. So you put good things within yourself. And when I say good things, I don't mean just food. I mean everything. Food, water, nutritional elements of, let's say, juices, fruits, whatever it is. And also social media, content that you consume, that's also going inside, right? So always consume something good and positive and healthy in life. If you consume things which are scary, ghost-like in nature, let's say you like crime and you like all these ghost movies and all, subconsciously you are going to train yourself in such a way that you will feel fearful in life. Why do you want that? Feed something that's healthy, nourishing, positive, beneficial for your overall well-being. Okay? Next one is exercise. Very important. If you don't exercise, you're not creating space for the healthy functionality of your body. It can be mental exercise, it can be physical exercise, but you need to exercise. Because when you're exercising, you're creating new pathways. You're breaking the old ones and you're creating new pathways that will help you to grow and elevate in life and have deeper, meaningful experiences in life. The fourth one is yoga. When I say yoga, I don't mean that physical yoga that people do. I'm not talking about that. Yoga means becoming one with oneself, understanding who you are, and then aligning yourself to that. There are multiple ways of yoga. There is bhakti yoga, there is kriya yoga, there is karma yoga, there is jnana yoga. So through all of these different ways, you can merge with yourself and become one. Okay? Very, very important. Now, next one is mental health. For mental health also, we have multiple actions that we can take. First is be mindful and present of each and every action that you take in your life day to day. Second, meditation. Sit with yourself and dedicate at least 5 to 10 minutes every morning and every night after you wake up and before you sleep in meditating and trying to understand who you are, what are you doing, how is your day going, how was your yesterday, what do you have planned for today. Just think, let the thoughts come. Meditation does not necessarily mean that there should be no thoughts in your head. Meditation means that you observe the things as they are, and with time you will slowly delete all of those thoughts and become empty, so that you become an empty vessel, an empty cup that allows more experiences to come into your life. Okay, the last one for mental health is breath work. Why breath work? See, the only element in our reality that is always rooted in the present moment is the breath. Our minds might go in the past and in the future and cause sorrow or anxiety, but the breath is always in the present moment. So, if you can leash your mind to the breath by simply doing this, you can bring your mind to the present moment and become more mindful, more present, more happier. And as a result, you can achieve anything that you have set out to achieve. And then finally, emotional health. Yes, emotional health. How do you improve your emotional health? By gratitude journaling. If you don't recognize the positives in your day-to-day life, if you even in the gratitude journal, you can also add one more element. You can share what kind of energy you were feeling throughout the day and why you were feeling that. Maybe you were feeling sad. Why were you feeling the emotion of sadness? Maybe you were happy. Why were you happy? So with the gratitude journal, you can just write down all the emotions that you have been feeling throughout the day. And then by this tracking, you can understand what is causing this, and then you can take counter actions to balance it out. Okay? So not just gratitude journal, I would say journal emotions plus gratitude. Okay, and then finally routines and habits. See, our thoughts create our reality. How? We think of something, then we start acting on that something. When we repeat that action, it becomes a habit, and if we inculcate a habit for a long period of time, it becomes part of our routine. Most of the people don't have a consciously defined routine. They're just letting life happen to them. And then they're saying, why am I in this state of life? Why is everything bad happening to me? Because you are not mindful of what's happening to you. You're not the one who is creating your reality for yourself. You're letting reality define and dictate what you need to be doing. Instead, you can take the charge in your hand and you can change your life by creating routines and habits. And go step by step. Just inculcate one new habit in your routine, one at a time, and slowly over a period of time, keep on adding 1% growth, 1% growth. And through the power of compounding, by the time you are 50 years old, maybe you're already 50, by the time you're 100, maybe you're already 100, but I doubt that you're watching this video if you're 100. But okay, let's say you're 100 years old and you're watching this video. Still, there is scope, because zero progress is always better. Is it? No, it's not. Zero progress is not better than 1%. 1% is always better than zero growth. Okay? So always incorporate 1% growth through your actions and your habits. Minimal compounding effect, maximum results. You'll be far off almost everyone that you know if you can improve by 1% every single day. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not easy. It sounds easy when I say 1% growth. You're like, yeah. But when you actually have to do that, and when you start actually, incorporating that in your life, then you'll understand it's not that easy. Okay. Now, what are the actions you can take? First, hygiene. If you don't take care of yourself, you don't love yourself, if you don't take care of your hygiene, then there is no way possible that you can inculcate a healthy lifestyle. You might fall sick more often. People might not want to be around you. Okay. Maybe you're not doing it for people, but you yourself do it for yourself. Stay healthy, stay clean. Because the body is like a temple or a mosque or a church, whatever you want to call it. How is the environment within a temple? It's clean, right? It's positive. So clean yourself, maintain that hygiene, have some routines, cut your nails, cut your hair. If you want to grow long hair, that's fine, but maintain the hygiene. Okay. Next one, prayer. Very important. You need to inculcate prayer, because if you are roaming around taking all the load and the burden on your head and your shoulders, it's going to be very difficult, because you're limited. As a human being, you're limited. You don't have the sight to see everything on the street. You don't have the senses to smell everything, to see everything, to hear everything. It's limited, right? So surrender to something more bigger and beyond yourself. And through this surrender, you are letting go of that load that you're carrying around. And as a result, you are able to experience the depth of life. You are able to experience the beauty of life. Okay? It's almost like you driving a car versus you sitting in the back seat. Maybe you like driving the car, it's fine. But what if I tell you to drive the car throughout, like for 10 years continuously? You're not going to like it. You're not going to be able to enjoy the scenery around. But if you give this confidence and if you have this faith that, okay, there is something more bigger than me that's driving the car and I'm in the back seat, then you'll be able to enjoy and you'll have that trust that you are being guided on the right path. Because the Supreme, the Divine, knows the path better than you, because the Supreme, the Divine, has created the path. They will take you on the right path and you can chill, relax, have fun, experience, and overcome the challenges that you're trying to come. Okay? Next one. Good consumption. As we mentioned previously, whatever you feed in is what you feed out. Garbage in, garbage out. So change the quality of your life by consuming positive, good things. It's okay to be aware of the negative things in life. That's fine. I completely respect that. You need to be aware of all the bad things. It's okay. It's important to protect yourself, to safeguard yourself. You need to be. But I'm not saying that you're so interested in consuming the negative that you're always focused on going in that direction. Your intention should be to consume good, positive stuff. Okay? Next, goals. Now, there are two elements within the goals, which is personal and professional goals. Sit with yourself and define what your personal and professional goals are. Differentiate them and then start working on them. Because see, if you don't have goals, I am so sure you're never going to reach any. As we discussed this in the first relationship, servant leader. A ship that does not have a destination will never reach one because it doesn't have a destination. But a ship which has a destination, if all things favor, if the ship goes in the right way, it will reach that destination, right? The conditions we can't control. Maybe there is a windstorm or something. But if we have the destination, then the ship will reach there. So your focus should be to know that, okay, this is what I want to achieve in life, personally or professionally. And then you take action. Don't become attached to the outcome of that action, because there might be so many things on the path that will happen that is not in your control. And if you become too attached to the outcome and if it is not aligned to what you had set out, you might feel discouraged or demotivated and sad, and then it will have a ripple effect, which will be a negative ripple effect. Instead, set the goal and start focusing on your actions so that you can put your 100% and experience life, because the experience is what matters and not reaching the destination. Let's say you have 100 crores suddenly. What's the point? But if you earn that 100 crores, how are you going to feel about it? Okay. Next and final one, self-reflection. Now you need to have review cycles. You need to reflect upon yourself and your current state in life, your current stage in life. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. Day to day, you can reflect upon what actions you needed to take and what actions you're taking. Weekly, you can try and see what achievements you had within that particular week that you had set out. Okay, you can work on certain projects, and projects that not necessarily mean work project. It can be project health, project wealth, project nutrition, project anything. So you can track the progress of your projects with the weeks. Monthly reflection, you can see how much you progressed within the entire month. In the quarter, you can rectify and change certain elements of your goals that may not seem to be aligning with your life. But you thought maybe at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the quarter, you thought maybe this is important. But the end of the quarter, you realized, okay, I need to make certain shifts in this particular goal. And then maybe work on shifting that. And yearly, shift all the values that you have in your life. There might be some things that you value. Maybe freedom is something that you value. But within that year, you understood that maybe I don't value freedom, maybe I value travel. I value travel more than I value freedom. Maybe I value family more than I value freedom. So you can make these bigger shifts on a yearly basis. Okay, so this is how you can reflect upon your actions and you can develop a better and beautiful relationship with yourself, which will act as the foundation and the core for all other relationships that you have in your life. Okay, don't try to jump into other relationships before you have this relationship sorted. If you have issues in other relationships in your life, you should know that there is some issue in your relationship with yourself, and that is why you're feeling that blockage or challenge in that relationship. Okay, and then as usual, I have that final request, which invite other people to this community so that we can grow, thrive together. We can make that impact together. We can relate with more people. We can feel more empowered. We can bring more people into our reality. We can become more confident in what we believe in. Okay? Help me fulfill my purpose by inviting other people to this community. And how are you going to do this? Simple. There's a Trustpilot link and there's a Google link. Go and leave a review. Leave a 5-star review if you found this useful. And within that review, invite other people to join. Because see, these people are already looking for places like our community, but they're not able to find one because there's so much of noise. But if you are able to invite them here and because of your comment or review, they're able to join us, imagine the amount of good karma you're going to accumulate. Imagine how good you will feel. Just like how you are feeling good, if someone else feels that good, don't you think they will be thanking you within their hearts? And since we are all connected, don't you think you will be able to receive that? Yes, you will. Okay. So again, I am so thankful. I'm so grateful that you have been investing your time with me and you have been allowing me to work on my purpose. This is the only reason I exist in this world. To share this knowledge, this wisdom, this information, this structured information with you about the importance of relationships. And my only hope is, as a result of this, you elevate your quality of life. You become enlightened. And I am super grateful once more that you're allowing me to do this service for you. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video where we will dive in, trying to understand the importance of having a guru or a mentor in our life, a spiritual guru in our life. And then in the final video, after that, we will look into the relationship with God or the Supreme Divine. Okay, I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.